In the eastern Pacific, 400 miles from anywhere that mattered, a thin white cigarette boat was running for its life. 4 Mercury 350 screamed at the red line, throwing a rooster tail so tall it looked like the ocean itself was bleeding smoke. 52 knots. No running lights. No AIS transponder. Just 6 men, 2 rifles, 1 detonator, and $42 million worth of pure cocaine stacked under a tarp. They thought the deep blue would hide them. They were wrong. High overhead, an HC-130J Super Hercules had been shadowing them for 3 silent hours, invisible at 25,000 feet. Down on the water, the Coast Guard cutter Kimball ghosted along the edge of the horizon, engines idling, flight deck already hot. And aboard her, a dozen men from SEAL Team 8 checked magazines one last time. Quiet, calm of guys who've done this before and know exactly how fast it can all go to hell. The cartel boat never stood a chance. They just didn't know it yet.
Are you still with me? If you're already on the edge of your seat, knowing the SEALs are about to hit that boat, do 2 things real fast. Smash the like button so this story keeps reaching more people. Comment 1 word, boarding, if you can't wait for what happens next. I'm reading every comment. Here we go.
It started the way these things usually do, with warnings nobody wanted to hear. An orange and white MH-65E Dolphin helicopter dropped out of the sky like judgment itself, skids flashing in the dawn. The pilot rolled into a tight orbit 500 meters astern, close enough to read faces, far enough that small arms fire would be a prayer. A voice boomed across the water in English and Spanish. "Stop your vessel. This is the United States Coast Guard. Heave to and prepare to be boarded." The only answer was a middle finger and a burst of full auto skyward. Bad choice. The helicopter crew didn't flinch. They'd seen the movie before. Approval came back from Kimball in 4 seconds flat. The door gunner racked the M240, then thought better of it and swung to the Barrett 50 already bolted to the cabin floor. That rifle isn't meant for people. It's meant for engines. The first round took the starboard outer Mercury clean off its mounts. A half-second later, the cowling was airborne, and black oil painted the wake like ink. Speed bled off in chunks. 50 knots, 43, 38. The second and third shots walked down the line, surgical, almost gentle. When the 4th engine died in a cough of steam and fire, the ocean suddenly went quiet, except for the wind and the slap of waves against a boat that wasn't running anywhere ever again. Dead in the water. But the real problem wasn't the engines. It was the metal container bolted to the aft deck that had just started glowing cherry red on the helicopter's infrared. The pilot's voice cracked for the first time all morning. "Kimball, Hitron. We have a confirmed heat spike on an unknown device. Possible scuttling charge. Recommend immediate boarding." On Kimball's deck, 2 combatant rubber raiding craft hit the water doing 45 knots before the splash even settled. 12 SEALs in black plates, rifles up, faces calm. They came in from both sides like wolves closing on a wounded deer. 20 meters out, one of the cartel crew realized the game was over. He yanked a commercial blasting detonator from his waistband, thumb already on the trigger. He never got to press it. A suppressed 3-round burst from an MP7 stitched the deck at his feet. The detonator spun away, clattering harmlessly. Before he could scream, a 230-pound SEAL landed on his chest like gravity with an attitude problem. 3 seconds later, Every smuggler was face down, flex-cuffed, bleeding ego more than anything else. The EOD tech didn't waste time. He slid across the deck, low and fast, popped the container lid, and stared at exactly what he'd expected. 20 kilos of C4, wired to a radio receiver and a simple burner phone trigger. The burner was already ringing. Some cartel boss on the other end, wondering why his $1 million boat had gone quiet. The tech pulled the battery, snipped 2 wires, and exhaled. Charge safe.
Only then did anyone look at the cargo. Brick after brick of cocaine, vacuum sealed, green taped, stacked like gold bars in a dragon's lair. 42 million on the street. Enough to keep a whole cartel branch breathing for another 6 months. Enough to make burning the boat the easiest decision of the day. The SEALs worked fast. Evidence bags filled, rifles, sat phone, detonator, a few personal cell phones still buzzing with panicked messages. Then the accelerant came out. Diesel mixed with gasoline, poured generously over wood that had carried poison for years. One red flare arced through the air. The fire caught with a whoosh you could feel in your teeth. Flames raced up the tarps, devoured the cocaine, turned the entire boat into a pyre. For a mile around, the sea reflected orange. Black smoke climbed into the clean Pacific sky like a confession. By the time the hull cracked and the whole thing slid under, there was nothing left except a widening oil slick and 6 very quiet prisoners on the deck of a rib, headed for a cutter that doesn't lose. Back aboard Kimball, the SEALs stripped off plates and helmets without ceremony. Nobody high-fived. Nobody cheered. They just racked rifles, drank water, and stared at the horizon where a column of smoke was already dissolving into nothing. Another morning on the endless blue. Another load that will never reach a single street corner. Another quiet reminder that no matter how fast you run, no matter how far out you go, if you bring poison toward American shores, there are men waiting in the dark who are faster, smarter, and a whole lot less patient than you ever planned for. The ocean went back to its ancient rhythm. 6 men in zip ties, 1 less cartel pipeline, $42 million turned to ash. And somewhere high above, the Super Hercules banked west, already hunting the next ghost on the water. The job never really ends. It just waits for the next sunrise.